Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Day 2 of the Cyber Gamer Premier League Season 3 Championships. My name is Uwe and I'm here with Sandman, who did a quick dash out from the main stage to join me here. And what a day yesterday was. Obviously, as you said, we are now down to our top 4 teams. After a grueling group stage, we whittled them down after some fantastic games in that best-of-2 format that we saw yesterday. For those of you who maybe didn't see what went on yesterday, Sandman, let's just have a look at the brackets and see how the groups eventuated. So Group A was a really interesting one there because the first game we got to see was the Avant-Garde and Noxious Gaming one. And that was an interesting result because obviously Avant-Garde won that first map and then they actually dropped the second map but still had enough of those rounds to get them through.
Yeah, Avant obviously actually the 2 games that they did win, they did drop both the second games in both second maps in those best-of-2s. But because of the cumulative round format, they actually managed to come out on top of both of those first 2 matches, only dropping a game to Team Immunity. Obviously, in the end, putting Team Immunity as seed number 1 within that group. Yeah,
so obviously, on that note, Team Immunity 3-0-0. You can see up there on your screen now their cumulative round totals over each of those games. It was fairly clean. I mean, we had some situations where we were a little bit concerned about Immunity's ability to sort of to finish off the game. I think maybe, especially in their third round match, they were sort of lagging a little bit behind. Like I think they were 5-1 down, but as soon as they started getting on a roll, Avant-Garde really couldn't deal with them. So obviously, yeah, Team Immunity at the top, and so Avant-Garde and Team Immunity be qualifying for today. And it's funny, Team Steel Series really seemed like they showed so much potential yesterday as well, really pushing some of those top teams. I feel like the 0-3 really doesn't actually tell all the story there.
Yeah, it's hard, especially in this particular format. You can see that they did manage to pick up a game, as we said, against the team who did make it through Avant Gaming. And it just, yeah, it makes it can be a little bit difficult, I suppose. But overall, you know, you just need to be a little bit more consistent, perhaps. They proved that they certainly can take some maps off, but they just need to do a little bit better.
Okay, so let's have a look at Group B then. Obviously, Immunity and Avant-Garde moving forward from Group A. This was an interesting group, and I think maybe the 2 teams that we expected to advance from this group did, in fact, do that, but maybe not in the way that we expected them to. The first game of the day that we saw was actually Streamline and Sneaky Assassins, and this was a really competitive game. This was, I think a lot of us maybe, you know, especially those who maybe weren't familiar with the guys on the Sneaky Assassins, maybe weren't expecting a whole lot of stuff. But guys like Payback and Rob were absolutely massive. Payback is huge at LAN. Honestly, like, they just let him push mid and kill everyone, and it worked really, really well on Dust. Streamline, though, obviously did make the comeback there, obviously in that second map, and they managed to get a better round total, I think, ultimately. So they went through that first map, in their first match. And then, obviously, yeah, it was just interesting to see the way that especially the K-Shway game went as well. So many hugely clutch rounds there as well, even as you see the pistol in front of you. Just some big moments from those games, from 2 teams that maybe we wouldn't have expected to be exactly headlining the group, but it was definitely an impressive performance. Now, obviously, a second game that we did see on the day was Streamline and Chiefs. And this one as well, maybe fairly surprising for us, is that we didn't see it, sorry, but it happened in the other room, and actually Streamline won that one. They actually crushed Chiefs in that
No, we cast that.
We cast that one?
Yeah. I think you had a bit of took a break.
Oh, I wasn't.
Yeah, and it was exceptionally close. Chiefs losing out by, I think, 2 rounds on the cumulative round score, but picking up...
Was it 29-30 for them?
It was something ridiculous, like 30... They lost out by... They just ran out of rounds that they had to work with there. It was interesting. I had a chat to Frank, the Chiefs manager, yesterday, and he said, look, we lost both pistol rounds on Mirage, and we still came out very, very close overall. And Mirage was the Chiefs' pick yesterday. Yep. That was their map choice. So I thought that was a little bit interesting. He was perhaps a bit disappointed, but it's like, look, we came pretty close. And, yeah, at the end of the day, they got through. But as I sat in the actual game room yesterday watching the Chiefs play their third and final round of Group B, they were quite nervous, to be perfectly honest. They did even drop their first game, like 16-6 or something ridiculous like that. And it was only because they came back and won 16-3 on map number 2. They even had a shot today.
Well, yeah, I mean, and then obviously moving on to our last map that we saw, it was an interesting one, actually, Streamline versus Team Vivi, mate. That one was interesting. We obviously saw Nuke actually pick first there by Streamline, very, very confident. A game where, on both maps, Destiny really got to shine, I think. We saw him earlier on in the day, and he was definitely like he was a presence on his team. This time was a very, very different story. You know, even on Inferno as well, which was a second map. You know, he was more than happy to pick up a Mag 7 and push Banana. He was always, you know, he was floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee. And even that Dust 2. Oh, no, that was Sneaky Assassin, sorry. But yeah, no, it was just really good. VB Mates seemed like they definitely had like some big players in their team, obviously being the ex-Trident team. But after losing that nuke game, they really didn't seem like they were really in it. Really in it.
Yeah.
You know, the Inferno was not a really impressive performance from them. I think they really struggled. And you saw the round tally. They started on T-side, that's fair enough, but I think it was almost like 11-2 at one point in favour of VB, in favour of Streamline. So, yeah.
I guess the end result, though, is that we see, as I said before, what many people expected to be our grand final match, our two top teams. Well, you know, when Vox Eminor is out of the picture, you've got Team Immunity and you have another team. And most recently, that other team has been Chiefs. And now we see Chiefs here in our semi-final up against Team Immunity very early in the morning, to be perfectly honest. And it's not what people expected to see. We expect to see these guys playing tonight. So it really leaves it open for our second semi-final of Avant Gaming up against Streamline, who, honestly, I have no idea who's going to take that one out. Streamline played so very well yesterday, and Avant known for playing, you know, quite well on land. They love the land environment. At least they can feed on that. Perhaps when there's more of a crowd here later in the day, that might even be more of a benefit for the Avant team.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, we won't have seen any of these teams playing today. Haven't played yesterday, not in these semi-finals anyway. Obviously, we played across the bracket, the group stage, should I say? So, interesting. Yeah, Streamline sort of the record looks pretty clean. That was some really close games, and you can see that though as well. Like in terms of their opponents, there were close matches. Whereas Avant-Garde, dropping, I think, maps in, sort of 2 out of, was it all of the games that they played?
Yeah, of their 2 games that they won, they lost 1 map.
Yep.
So they went 1-1 in map score,
yep.
but had played well enough in map number 1 that they were ahead in terms of rounds 1. And I think perhaps in this format you do play a little bit differently when you know you have already won. So, you may be hiding strats like Vox did at PDG, or you may, just playing a little bit differently. So, yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. Perhaps if it was a proper best of 2 without the rounds, they would have seen it differently.
Well, it's time to jump into our first best of 3 of the day. It's going to be Team Immunity versus the Chiefs. First map is going to be Inferno. Let's jump into the action and see what is going on with it's a knife round, should I say. So we might be even a veto at this stage, but we start off with the knife and then we'll see where it goes from there. So obviously Immunity and the Chiefs, 2 teams that are no strangers to going up against each other, especially on LAN and things like that as well. Last LAN outing for Chiefs was actually a fair while ago, sort of out of Zubu, and it was okay, but they definitely hadn't found their feet at that point as a team, I think, and now obviously having lost Dizzy sort of halfway through the CG season as well for them, and replacing him with APOC, as big a player as APOC is, and he is a fragger, you always risk messing with your chemistry a little bit in a team when you make a change like that. But to be fair, I think they've done well with it. Yaman gets the final knife in towards Lightstep, and I think it's important to maybe be aware of just how crucial that kill was.
Yeah, it's how is it working in the best of 3? Are they just picking side off here, off knife round, I suspect?
Yep.
Yeah, so we've already gone through, and we have how many maps selected? 2? I have 3 maps already selected.
Yeah, so obviously IM picked, the first map will be Inferno, which was IM's pick. And then our second one will be Mirage.
Yep.
And then Dust 2. So it's going to be that triumvirate of maps that we are generally used to seeing. So obviously choice of side was going to go to Immunity here on Inferno. And this is an interesting one because you got to ask yourself, Immunity, do they feel confident enough? They could start that T side, they could stay and sort of roll out with that, see how many rounds they can stack up, and then try and sort of bring it home on a landslide against Chiefs. But the question is here, how much of a lead can you afford to give the Chiefs? How much impetus can you afford to give them? Generally speaking, the Chiefs are quite a subdued team. You don't normally hear them going ham, even yesterday, especially going up against teams like Streamline, who were just raucous, I'll say.
Yeah.
They're always quite quiet. They always say to each other, let's keep it, no BM guys, let's just keep it civil, let's just play. But there's always a risk of becoming too subdued as well and just letting things happen in a game, just sort of being too passive as well.
Yeah.
Often your out-of-game attitude can translate into what you do in-game as well. So that may be the one thing with the Chiefs. And when they get down, the communication sort of can be a problem with them. I was speaking to Sanger yesterday and listening to some of what the guys were talking about, and there's a little bit of frustration.
Yeah, yeah. I was sitting there and they were going, "Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me on TS?" They're like, "Yeah, yeah."
Might be the Kiwis, to be fair. Like, it's,
yeah, it's always an issue. Always an issue. We saw Chiefs play this one yesterday, and it was actually the map that or the matchups, should I say, the best two that they dropped against Streamline, and I think they pulled back like 8 rounds in a row or something ridiculous on CT side Mirage. CT side Inferno. And just absolutely massive once they got that roll on. They held their points. They took back the map, the bomb sites as they needed. And it was actually really, really impressive to see, considering how far down they had been. So under pressure yesterday on this very map, on the CT side, they did impressively well.
I think it shows a lot of discipline for them to be able to grind those rounds. Remember we were talking yesterday, and I was harping on about this a little bit, is that I felt like when Avant-Garde started to lose rounds, they struggled to actually sort of bring them back. There's always a tendency for them to have difficulty to grind out the hard rounds. Chiefs are used to it. That's their bread and butter. Because they are so often finding themselves in positions, especially semi-finals or quarterfinals, they're going up against teams like Immunity, Vox Eminor, Avant-Garde to some extent as well, where they can't afford to let a landslide of rounds just happen. They can't afford just to drop a bunch. They need to, every single round, whether it's an eco or otherwise, they need to absolutely, balls to the wall, try and sort of to win that round. I'm not saying that you don't, but sometimes you see those teams who will just like, if they're Devil Eco, they'll just rush B as 5 both rounds. And if they get it, awesome, but if they don't care, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas there's always a sense that Chiefs are very deliberate in the way that they actually play those ecos. Really, understanding the value, obviously the guns that they can obtain and how they can, not only impact the rest of that round from the guns of their fallen enemies, but also what the implications are for later rounds as well.
We actually saw Team Immunity yesterday on some very impressive eco rounds, pulling out the Tech 9s. Had a chat to Sniper yesterday. He's like, yeah, that's not really like us, but we did it, and we actually played them really well. I think they won a number of eco rounds against even Avant Gaming with those Tech 9s that they probably shouldn't have won. So they certainly did play out. They weren't necessarily a rush and gun type of team previously. Now with these AWP changes and things changing it up, perhaps they said they even ran a number of SMGs that they wouldn't normally run, and it came out to work for them. So they're not sticking to what they're necessarily comfortable with if they think something else might work better.
Well, I think that's a really important way to be as a team as well, especially in an ever-changing meta, as well as a team who is going to be playing an international LAN in a few weeks as well.
Yes.
And the Face It LAN, as far as I understand, there will be some big teams there. I think only NIP is announced so far.
Okay.
And as well as Immunity. So we don't know the rest. I think there are qualifiers, but we expect to see some of those big teams there. Guys like First Pro, TSM, all your Fnatic as well. So it's going to be tough, and it's not going to really be. I don't reckon it's going to be the same as the ESL 1 was for Vox Eminor, because obviously they had the qualifying process where they went up against some teams that arguably weren't really as strong, like your Dignitas at the time, who were a weekend lineup, and 3D Max as well.
Yes,
who,
yes.
Obviously they managed to triumph over, and then they sort of had to play those big teams. Immediately going to go straight into the fire. It's going to be like all top teams, a couple of top teams from North America, all the big EU teams. There's not really going to be any gimme games for them as well, but we're going to jump that into the game. We are pretty well set, and it looks like after winning the knife round, Immunity will probably opt for the CT side. I think
we're missing one. Are you missing one player?
That's right.
Yeah.
James is just going to reconnect, I think. Wait and see what's happening.
Yeah, we're very close to it there. I reckon we're going to have a pretty good start time here, to be perfectly honest. Of LANs that we have seen in recent times, I genuinely feel that today's games will be some of the closest games. It's certainly the best opportunity for the closest games that we would see.
Are you trying to tell me that our semi-finals are going to be closer than our group stage matches?
I believe so, yes.
Right. I hope so.
Well, when you're coming back to PDG though, we've had LANs recently, and some of those were close, and some of them really weren't that close. And I feel like the matchups here are a little bit better for that. Obviously, you don't have a team having to take down Vox Eminor, who were considered to be the best at the time. Obviously, at PDG, they did go down, but they had a lot on their mind at the same time. So I feel like these teams should really be at their best here and really provide the best opportunities for some of the best Australian CSGO LAN action we'll see for a while.
I feel like LAN is always, we're going to start in a second, but I feel like LAN is always a reminder to people that online is such a different environment to LAN. It is a meteoric difference between the two. So, nonetheless, speaking of LAN, we're going to get underway with our first match of the day. We do have Immunity going up against the Chiefs, and we've already had our knife aside maps have been locked in, so it is going to be Inferno, Mirage, and Dust if we do get to that point. CT side is Immunity here, pistol rounds, and see the layout here, obviously plenty of decoys. In fact, you can see that James has just tried to simulate some extra hold over at B just to keep himself safe for the moment. Moku finds Yaman with the burst, close up with the Glock. Emag walks straight into him. You know, honestly, Moku doesn't need help finding frags, and when you run into him, you're really just going to make it too easy for him. Now, Ricky just trying to hold here at jungle, and he's just going to get his head taken clean off here. Chiefs are far more efficient here in their gunplay, that's for sure. Sniper will get one back, and a second there as well on towards Nova. Got to hold for just a moment the push of the Chiefs. But Lightstep gets straight on in towards him now. James has got to hold on for his team. He's got to do the dirty work. He can't do it, and the pistol round going over to the Chiefs.
Chiefs finally winning a pistol round in this competition. It's great to see for them. Going to put them in a fantastic position to get into this game. Nice, interesting buy there coming out from James onto a shotgun. Pump action there, not something you necessarily always see, but it's a bit of a peculiar buy coming out from IM. You know, they are certainly trying to force it here, trying to pull something out. They don't want to give away 3 rounds just for the sake of losing 1, I suppose. So we'll see what the Chiefs want to do. Sitting at Banana as usual, trying to find themselves a free kill. But, Yam, nice work from him. Going to take out APOC, who considerably has done a fair bit of damage throughout the Chiefs game so far. So they'll appreciate having him down this round. Certainly going to give him a little bit. Yeah, definitely has at the key times has made a big difference for Chiefs and saved them a number of times yesterday. So if they can get him down early, I think it's definitely going to make a difference. So Yam going to steal that one away. Nice and easy. You
do see now, like, how Immunity are valuing. They understand it. Obviously, they lost the pistol round, but it's not really going to slow them down at all. Even look at James. This is going to be really nasty. Often he's got to push up. Surely James is going to see him just a second with the Nova when he does come around the corner, lying in wait. Now, you expect the Chiefs to also be checking this, but will they check the close corner? No, James, his nerve breaks and he backs right on out. He's going to wait for them to push in on towards him. There's one. No, he doesn't make the shot enough. He picks him up there with the MP7. That's an important gun down. I mean, James really could have made good use of that one in the tight corners, but now they're going to wrap around and head towards B. Nova leading the charge here. Sniper's going to be waiting in Con to receive this particular push. He can hear a hell of a lot of footsteps coming from outside. Ricky's only got a P250 in his hand. Let's see what he can do with it. Oh, he's going to struggle, I think, with Nova coming straight towards with the AK, but Sniper will get the spray down on towards Nova. Only 2 players there. Imag did pick up the fallen James's shotgun, but that's too much long-range gunfighting. He's usually with a 3K on that round, and Immunity buying up to no avail.
Yeah, that's gonna cost him a little bit, I suspect. So nice round win there coming out from the Chiefs, playing that one nice and slowly, even though they did lose APOC early on. Just too strong. The AK is a pretty good weapon, to be perfectly fair. I'll give him that one. I'll give him that one. It does certainly help. It does certainly help the situation.
Gets the job done.
Yeah, it does. It does. So yeah, Chiefs again yesterday were not necessarily impressive on the T side of Inferno, but maybe they'll be able to pull something out. They've got the start that they want today. They've got 3 AKs on the team at the moment. I think 2 MP7s by the looks of it. So they should be able to pull out this 3rd round of their T side. We'll see. APOC up here. He's got the Tech 9 out at the moment, but we'll see. Perhaps he's got something better to use. I would suspect. No, he loves it. He loves it. Tech 9 pretty strong, to be fair, even if we have nerfed it just a little bit.
Obviously, a Tech 9 in the hand is worth 2 in the bush, if you know what I mean. Moku, especially up in carpet here, can do a lot of damage. I don't think he's really been spotted. There's actually no one from Immunity in pit, so were Moku to elect to smoke himself here and maybe drop down or just flash out, they can do some serious work here. Sometimes you see players flash through that smoke and try and jump out, but Moku just doesn't have enough information at this stage to be working on. So now we're going to see the Chiefs come around here through jungle. James can see them. He's aware of this and he's made the call. Now everyone has got a chance to fall back. This kind of plays into Immunity's favour, really. They're not obviously giving too many long angles for the AKs to do work. As I say that to Zuzi, oh god, it's not good for Immunity, getting completely gunned down. Emag, the only guy to actually get a frag there, and then the ensuing gunfight. Not even necessary to see a bomb plant. Chiefs going to just roll over the top of them there. But here's the buy for Immunity.
Yeah, finally actually being able to spend a little bit of cash here, get something a little bit more reasonable. We'll see if Immunity can hold this time around. Chiefs have been biding their time quite well. You know, there's not much of a crowd here at the moment. There's no real nerves, I suspect, apart from playing the game itself. So we would hope to see these guys in their usual environment. Sniper pushing through into Banana. He might be able to find himself a cheap kill down there if he's a little bit lucky. We will see Lightstep has already gone down to 10 HP, so that's not an ideal situation for him. Chiefs will be looking to return some damage perhaps and try and find themselves an advantage here. APOC up in apartments as usual, his favourite place to hang out. Probably paying rent by now, to be perfectly honest. But it has worked for him so far, so we'll see if this continues to be the case. Nova here, again, just starting to move in with the rest of his team into this A-bomb site. They've gone and A, I believe, so far. So might work out for them again. Certainly, while they have had the advantage, this time is a little bit differently. You would expect Immunity to perhaps be able to hold this. He's going to poke out. James gets one Nova. Going to take him down in return. Moku going to smoke himself out perhaps and do that jump over into pit like we expected to see him do earlier. Nova's moved in, but Sniper's having none of it. Takes him down. Takes out Zuzi. APOC going to take out Sniper and Imagine picks him up in return. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, Team Immunity pick up a round after their first real bite. It is 1 and 3.
That position from EMAG counters like any balcony push so hard. Moku being a menace, obviously putting some smoke on himself and using the corners of it to make shots out of. So you essentially create obviously a good deal of virtual cover for yourself if you don't completely smoke yourself out. And but EMAG was waiting for that push from Moku. I think Immunity definitely keened up to the fact that Moku does like to use those apartments and work his way down. So that was an important round for them. Still guns for the Chiefs here. It's a good start for them really for those 3 T-side rounds. And yet again, Moku making his way through the apartments. Yeah, also good to note, it was a good early rotate there from Ricky last round. Sometimes that can be really risky. Ricky and Sniper doing nice work in that banana. The bomb is down. Zuzi will pick one back up, but Ricky's still trying to hold. Zuzi makes the double though, and that really cuts down the defensive capacity of Immunity over on that B side. Enough so Zuzi can actually make his way and get a quick plant down. Only 2 left from Immunity there. Yaman makes it a 2v2 situation where the bomb is down. Pressure is on. Zuzi cops a heavy nade there as he backs right back onto the side. After his gunfighting with Sniper, he's down to 6 health. It's going to be a bit of a struggle here to hold on. A spray bullet just might graze his cheekbone and do him in. Often he's still full health though, mind you, but both Immunity players have kits and a full health. There's the burn down. There's not much you can do when you've only got 6 health. There's really not enough time to respond to the damage ticks from the Molotov at your feet, so that's fair enough. And Ofnu not able to get in there as well. I mean, the pressure was being put onto Immunity, but Yaman held solid. And I think we might see good things from him today. He was definitely good yesterday. Wasn't crazy good. But he was definitely like one of the top frags. And he always is in there, like quite achiever, Yaman.
Yeah, definitely always very, very solid. Someone you can rely on. That was a little bit disappointing from the Chiefs. They managed to get in. They did some great early work, opening up that B-bomb site, getting essentially a free plant, and then throwing it away just by not being cautious enough. APOC getting picked up pretty early on in the rotation there. And it just didn't turn out how I suspect they had expected to do so. So perhaps they need to be a little bit more careful next time around. We will see an eco coming out from the Chiefs, this time losing the last 2 rounds in a row, getting forced into buying pretty much nothing except for APOC and his Rec 9 there. We'll see if he'll do any damage. They're going to need to pull out something special. James has made his way all the way in. He will have 3 potential players here from the Chiefs about to poke out. They are just holding, waiting for that smoke to go down. So here is the timing. They're going to push out. APOC picks up Imagine. Oh my goodness. So very quick.
I mean, I wish we could see a replay of that, but basically, Immunity did read like a bit of a stack there, of course. They knew it'd be. It's pretty much the most obvious thing in the world to know that the Chiefs would have been forced onto eco in that round. I mean, you're only 3 rounds in. You have a good perception of what their economy is looking like now. You understand how the rounds have gone. Obviously, they lost 3 and then they won 3. So they knew exactly what Chiefs were at. So they sacked up. James was in a good spot, actually. He looked like he was quite forward initially. Like right now, it's actually a fairly aggressive position if he gets poked on. It's going to be the same situation we saw last round. We're going to be pushing straight through smoke. No, they get past him towards Dig. Oh, good. Yaman is caught unaware, but James is going to get the double. He gets in there and gets it done, as we like to see from the guy. And you can see now he's going to be heading it back through. The bomb is actually dropped as well. So he's seriously done the work. And the Chiefs are cut down to only 2 players here, so it's really, really hard to orchestrate any kind of resurgence in this round here. Zuzi is essentially pinned here over at Dig, and he's surrounded by enemies, of course. As usual, Nova is by his side. He's just coming out of pit now as well, so they do have control of this back part of the A site, but there's not really much they can do except try and push through that smoke. You can see they're getting stored out hard. This is a clever little boost for Zuzi now. Going to get a bit of a vantage point. Can he gun down Ricky? Yes, he can. Where's EMAG, though? He's going to be close coming out of Boiler. He's still going to be smoke covered by Smokies. He does push out now. James coming through from Library. Zuzi, how sharp is he? James isn't really giving him too much of a chance to get a decent spray down. Always ducking left and right. Trying to be conservative there, and Emag there will finally take down Zuzi. And Immunity just have the chance to pick apart the remaining members of the Chiefs.
Yeah, for sure. Chiefs, 4-3. They have, I think, is that 4 rounds in a row they've lost now? That's not great for them. They're certainly going to be at least picking up that 4-round loss money. But deciding again that they don't want to spend anything here, going to save it up for next time, which may allow Team Unity here just to sort of pull out. But each and every round that you can get on the T side is very, very worthwhile. So we saw Chiefs play really great Inferno CT side yesterday, picking up 8 rounds or something ridiculous in a row. So, it's not like they're not confident on this map. Perhaps less so up against the favourites team Immunity. See if they haven't got... They've sort of shied away from B here, only leaving one member sort of along that side. James going to find one in the head of Nova. It would even be. Molly going to forcing them back as well, down along Banana. James very, very eager here to pick up a couple of free kills. Offnu going to take out Imagine, perhaps in Boiler there. And Zuzi going to go down along with Offnu to Yam and Sniper. And another pretty easy eco round defeat.
Yeah, it was pretty wishy-washy eco round from the Chiefs. You know what we were talking about it before. It's about how much intent you apply to an eco round. Like, are you going to give yourself a real chance of winning it? The Chiefs sort of just milled around in mid there, and James was just able to peek out every few seconds. Didn't even take any damage, by the way, like hardly any, if any, with the M4A4, and just sort of sprayed them down one by one. So it was a right step now in Banana. Cops a heavy tag there. He's going to be forced to back on away, and that is the AWPer already very, very low for Chiefs. He's going to have to be much more of a pivot point than a spearhead at this stage. You can see him right around the back now to nade towards Emag there. Moku sees his head straight away. Can he make it the second here? He's trying to spray in towards Dark. Emag had the opportunity there. Moku didn't exactly have the crosshair placement, but he still managed to complete the kill. Moku, would he make it 3? No, this time pushes straight into James. I mean, there's only so many corners you can check, but Nova using the impetus now, using the momentum that Moku created, just pushing in with Zuzi now as well, and Nova will make it his second for the round. Clean up Immunity. I mean, the damage was already done by the time Moki was in apps. You take down 2 players, Immunity have already committed a large amount of their forces to a very localized area. Trading 2 for 1s is great, and after a while, it's going to be enough for you to easily roll over your opponents. Lightstep holding onto his AWP somehow. Yeah,
and APOC seems to do that time and time again. Get those 2 for 1, 3 for 1 even trades, and really give his team an advantage. I would have suspected that Team Immunity would have picked up on the fact that 95% of the time, if he has a reasonable weapon, he is going to be in apartment. So something they need to keep in mind, or at least play perhaps a little bit better.
Triple stacked it, really, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So you just can't afford to throw your team away, unfortunately. Here we go. Imagine going to get picked up there again by APOC. I think coming out of Boiler that time around. You take a little bit of damage, but not too much. Yam was just up there in apartments. He's going to come out as well. James holding down the far side of the A site. Flash going to come out here from Yam, but he's not going to be able to do much with it. Offnu up the top. He will get one. Going to get forced out there a little bit by the molly, but not much going to come of it. Only 2 players left up for Team Immunity. 3 on the side of the Chiefs. James has taken down Nova, and Bomb Plant going to go down as well. Let's see if Chiefs if Team Immunity even want to retake this one with their 2 players. They are one up, but they should have a little bit of money in the coffers. So I think they might try and play this one out and see where they go. Nope, they've had enough. Goodbye.
That's fair enough. I mean, obviously Immunity, having lost those last couple of rounds in a row, probably a little bit strapped for cash at this stage. Important to point out, of course, James does have a defuse kit that we get to hold on to. And you can see that it wasn't exactly a full buy for Immunity in that round anyway. They didn't actually get any helmets, so you know how much sort of money they were playing with.
Yeah, man, but how often do you see the SAS in movies with helmets? Seriously, yeah, no excuses.
It's not photogenic though, really, is it?
No, it's not.
It's not a great look.
No.
It's like me wearing a bow tie.
Would you see Eric Banner wearing a helmet? How often?
No, because isn't his hair all part of the appeal?
It's true.
They just love those like dark curly locks.
Oh, kind of like Elfish Guy.
Yeah, kind of like Elfish Guy. Well, to be fair, when he doesn't cut his hair, it looks like Hiroshima on his head. It's like a mushroom cloud. It's not okay. It's like Friar Tuck, except he's got hair on the dome. It's not good, but it's alright. He's got a card. He's looking pretty sharp. I've got to be honest. So we might see him later on today. Nonetheless, still some guns in Immunity's hands. They actually opted for a bit of a force That may either indicate, obviously, sort of confidence. Obviously, the CT side always had that inherent advantage, especially on a map like Inferno. But let's see if they can put those guns to use. Zuzi took down Sniper. Moku is aware. He knows by now. You know, it's a bit of a, countermeasures to countermeasures kind of situation. He knew there'd be someone waiting for him. But EMAG does get the drop on him with the UMP as well. Often he picks up Yam on the side. The Molotov does go down. And EMAG's just going to have to hide behind the truck for now. Not cowering, just maybe choosing a better time to take the fight. But Ricky is on his own now. EMAG went down, actually got sprayed down through that truck. And Immunity losing a few on the trot here. It's definitely not so much tit for tat. And that means that Immunity have to rethink their approach here. They went for the buy this round. It's a little bit risky. But definitely thought that they'd be able to use the fundamental architecture and the
I don't think that they necessarily give the Chiefs the respect they deserve sometimes. Like you force a buy perhaps when you don't necessarily need to.
And it's Sniper's influence, I think. Ian is an incredibly confident individual, and a throwback of that can be that sometimes he doesn't maybe attribute to teams the respect they deserve. But he also did mention yesterday that the Chiefs know Immunity's game inside and out. They are very familiar with the way they play, and that speaks a lot in terms of their capacity to actually work around that particular play style. So I think Sniper gives credit where it's due. It's generally more begrudgingly given than with other people. Immunity may be backing themselves on the CT side here, maybe knowing that 5 rounds at this stage really isn't enough. They really need to lift. I think they were 15-15 on Inferno against SteelSeries yesterday as well, so it definitely hasn't really proven to be one of their best maps, and interestingly enough, it was their pick here.
Alright, we will see Zuzi just moving his way up towards Banana. They're going to get forced back a little bit by Let's Smoke, and just waiting out here. We'll see that Team Immunity choosing not to buy essentially this time around. APOC up there, I suspect in apartments. No, sorry, he is down on Banana this time. Didn't expect him to see him down here on this B-bomb site, but if you do know that Immunity probably aren't buying much because they lost their last half-buy round, then it's probably an easy push onto the B-bomb site, and that's exactly what the Chiefs have achieved here. 3 players left for Team Immunity. Only one of those with an AK. APOC going to go down to Imagine, so that should be 2 with an AK now if he picks that up. And no, if you get taken down in return, he did anyway, so that's not going to help them out at all. 4 players still here for the Chiefs. Bomb plant has gone down. Very little, I suspect, Team Immunity can do. Only Ricky left, and he's going to head, I suspect, back around towards that A-bomb site, try and keep his AK. Chiefs trying to hunt him down here. By the looks of it, they do want to punish him and clean this round up. They do have those numbers advantage. Ricky deciding he's going to go and hide in APOC's room and see out the rest of the round from there.
Well, Immunity a little bit of a lapse here, whether it's in concentration or obviously money-wise it's not great for them. They have the buy here, and this is really, really important for them, if that's not even already stated the obvious. They can't really afford to lose this round. In fact, to be, to go 8-7 at best at half-time on this map really says a lot about the way that Chiefs have played this T side. They've done an excellent job, and you can see the lift there, especially from Nova there. Some very, very good work from him as the game has progressed. So let's see what the Immunity guys can do. They have essentially been able to buy up. Ricky's foregone a helmet in favour of having the AWP, and James as well has done much the same to get his loadout the way he would like it. Nova and Moku there opening up the account. James got an early frag there as well, but Immunity now, there's a stretch for players. It's only going to be Yaman holding at that A side for now. The man can frag, there's no doubt about it, but can he take on an almost full-strength Chiefs squad pushing straight in towards him? It's going to be smoked for Yaman. Now Sniper's going to be making his way across. Moku, though, is winning those aim battles time and time again. Sniper just goes down, and that is really, that's a big part of Immunity's weakness here on this map. Ricky does pick up Zuzi the Yaman in the innovative positioning there. He's going to take down Nova, gets back behind the fence, and he's just going to wait for some sound cues here, I think. Looking left, right, centre. Moku knows where he is. Moku's very low to be taking his aim battle, though. If Yaman can spray some bullets in his direction, I think Moku knows that he's got to be very, very careful. He knows that they can put Immunity under pressure for now, and they can dictate the flow of the rest of this round by getting that bomb down. Immunity have to coordinate here between Sniper and Yaman. Ricky, should I say. They have to create something. So Yaman actually up in Graveyard. Moku not here. Moku's still on the set. He didn't even know, but Lightstep still won the aim battle. Moku just stood there and looked on as Lightstep decimates the remainder of Immunity's team. Yaman got up over that fence. I don't know if I've even seen that happen before. I think he was AFK. There you go.
That was really weird. Yeah, I was going to say, it felt like 3 seconds before the end of the round it was going to end entirely differently. But Yeah, there we go. So, imagined PC by the looks of it crashing, or perhaps running off for a potty break like we saw someone do yesterday. You never know. Getting a little bit excited here. This is pretty impressive, to be perfectly honest, from the Chiefs. I'm actually really impressed with how they played so far, especially on the T side as well. When we said, certainly it was CT for them yesterday, which saw them almost pull through against Streamline. So Chiefs showing that they're a force to be imagined with. And I think the APOC is certainly part of that at the moment, considering he's been in the team, how long? A couple of weeks?
A few weeks.
Yeah.
A few weeks, yeah. I mean, look at this. Lightstep, 29 points on 4 frags, so he's definitely getting the bomb down. When you've got players like that on your team on Terrace, you're doing pretty well. It means your objective play has been excellent. But Moku, yeah, as I said, on the top, 14-11. It's just these situations where Moku is pushing into set defenses and is able to take aim battles and sort of win them with a reasonable amount of health left. It's constantly, and as you see, it's 14-11. It's not like he's like 20-0 or something, but like that. But it's consistent and very efficient play from him, because he's always getting at least like a 2K most rounds. Let's have a look at see. Where are we? Yeah, like at least a 2K sort of each round. No more than that. Yeah, as you can see, he hasn't exactly been like team downing or anything like that.
79% headshot rate. Is that what it says?
Well, it's more than the fact it's like 95 ADR, so he's getting at least one person per round. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, it is. And even if he gets taken down one round, then he makes it up by picking up 2 the next. So, if you can do that 50% of the time and give your team an advantage 50% of the time, and you've got 4 other players who can hopefully do the same at some other point, you're putting yourself in a fairly good position, to be perfectly honest. Yeah,
so obviously, definitely spotlight is on him at the moment. Interesting to see how he slots into the team in terms of how the communication works, because he is he's a bit of a veteran of the game. He's been around for a long time, and it's interesting to hear him sort of how he communicates with the Chiefs, because a lot of these guys are younger talent, with the exception of Lightstep, who essentially was the mentor figure for the team and what was their captain, and still is, I believe. And how they sort of worked around him, and he sort of helped build them up into the team that they are today. And then you always throw in a different element with Moku, because his background and his beginnings are very, very different to the rest of the Chiefs. He comes in as a player who was huge back in the day, and clearly still is, the way he plays. But he comes into a team that is very, very used to the way they do things. From as simple as how they speak to each other to what kind of set plays they do. So not only is it stressful for a team to sort of bring in a new element like that, but it's also stressful for that new element to adjust to the team.
Yeah, absolutely, very much. It can put a lot of pressure on someone who's new to a lineup, coming to land, seeing and meeting the team in person. But fortunately, in this instance, APOC has come through and played relatively well across the last 2 days, which I think, if he was playing poorly, he would be playing much more poorly, perhaps, than he would regularly. So it's good for him that he's come through, and he's had some good rounds so far, some good maps in general, and it's put him in a position perhaps where he can settle down. If Chiefs weren't doing so well, it could have gone the other way very easily.
Well, let's see what the plan is on this particular round. Obviously, Immunity, this is do or die for them, really. They've gone for the famous buy here. So, again, at no stage have they really had the dream buy, or at least not since winning that sort of first gun round for them and going from there. 5-8. It's been a huge spree so far for the Chiefs in terms of rounds. There's the aggressive push there from Yaman. Actually had backup as well. So, Immunity very, very aggressive in their use of Apartment T. They don't want to let Moku even remotely close to those apps. You see he's already got through, though, somehow. He has snuck in through Boiler. Obviously, he must have got up on the balcony and into the dark room. So he's snuck through, but Yaman has spotted him here. So he's able to communicate that back to the rest of his team. And Moku knows that he's on a timer now. He really is. He's got to push slow towards Dig, and he's taking his aim battles and he's winning them. But Yaman is always going to be one step ahead of you, no matter where you are. So that's his second for the round, and they're 2 very important frags. Two frags that have really taken the wind out of the Chiefs' sails now as they're trying to come forward. Zusi wants to create an opportunity over here on the B side, and you can see that Lightstep bringing the bomb behind him. Does have a smoke and a Molotov as well, so he can definitely do some work here over this side. Zusi getting flashes, he moves over towards Pity. He never had a chance. There is Emag pops down and takes him, and I think Sniper probably jumped up onto coils and cleaned up Lightstep. So that's a little bit more like what we expect to see from Immunity. It's pretty much a non-negotiable that they win this round.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see everyone spending up all their money, being the final round here of this first half. I'm sure the Chiefs would love to come out with 9 T-side rounds here, put them in a fantastic position. Looks like a bit of a usual setup for those guys. There we go, going to get flashed out here. Sniper getting forced back a little bit. No one pushing too far in though, even though there is that molly there. 3 guys hanging out towards Banana. Nova going to get forced back as well. APOC in his usual apartments position, just where he loves to be. We will see so much damage going down just in little bits and pieces onto the Chiefs team at the moment. I'm seeing 3 of them down below 50% HP here. So not an ideal situation, but they are going to push into the A-bomb site nonetheless. James jumping back around the corner further in towards his A-bomb site, just trying to work it out with the rest of his team. We will see APOC come through. He may not be able to win this aim battle because Yam had him in his sights. Going to get forced back into the apartment, down to 20 HP for him. Might step the only member left of Chiefs with any sort of HP pool to play with. James and Sniper going to come together, going to take out Nova. 5 players still up here for Team Immunity on the CT side. Zuzi hanging out at the B-bomb site along with 2 other players, and I believe the bomb. So they've left only one over at A, perhaps to try and do a little bit of damage. And it might be a B-bomb push here. We will see APOC there does manage to get one going down in the end. However, I think 2 players here from Team Immunity on this B-bomb site, which is where the Chiefs are going to try and find an entry. Zuzi has managed to come all the way around the back. Bomb plant going to go down within that smoke. So Sniper here on the bomb site has a lot of work to do. Yam takes that one. Sniper takes that one. That is it. 7-8. Team Immunity picking up that final round as we finish up this very first half.
Okay, so, you know, we said Immunity needed to pick up those rounds. It was essentially, as we said, a non-negotiable. They did. It's interesting. The entry frags for Chiefs were really, really impressive, right? Zuzi and APOC were always there making an impact. And with support players like Ofnu and Nova, and yeah, to a lesser extent Lightstep as well when he's sort of not AWPing, they were very, very effectively able to get in onto those sites. And Immunity aren't a run-and-gun team, right? So they can be sometimes a flash in the pan and a bit hot and cold sometimes on their T side. They're not like an AV. I mean, they are drilled, all right? So, you know, their entries and the set plays are going to be by the book, all right? But sometimes their communication can break down as well, especially in some clutch situations. It's a chemistry thing as well. Spoke to Ian about this yesterday, actually. We were having lunch. He said, you know, sometimes you're trying to work up mid or something, and then you're crouch walking, but then like Ricky's behind me running up and down, you know, making a lot of noise. So even for a team of this caliber, like especially at Lambert, under those pressure situations, the cracks can show. And this is probably, you know, one part of the recipe to create that environment for them, because it was a very, very, very strong half by Chiefs on the T side. The entry fags were pretty much second to none, and you have to do that. That's how you win a T side. You need to be confident. You can't play scared. I'm pretty sure we saw that happening a little bit yesterday with some teams like Noxious and that. They played scared. Hugely, mediocrely different team, Chiefs are, in multiple manners, but that one specifically. Guys like APOC, you can't respect your opponents too much, right? There's always got to be an element of disrespect in your play, because you've got to back yourself going into the 1v1.
Is that why PDG goes so well?
I think so.
Yeah.
It can blow up in his face, though, to be honest, because then when he gets wrecked in like the group stage of the semi-finals, then the joke's kind of on him. But what's one thing about PDs, he's always pretty good-natured about it. So.
He is certainly pretty well-natured, yeah.
All right, so you can see the Chiefs guys there. Let's see.
I think yesterday's play, yeah. So if you were here yesterday, you would have seen the guys out in the I suppose square room, as you might call it. You know, 4 teams playing at the same time in that pool play.
That's APOC just there. Yeah,
that is APOC, the only one without the Chiefs jersey. If you do want to see APOC in the Chiefs jersey, type Frank Z in chat, aka the Team Immunity's managers.
Tell Sangy to
get that's his special emoticon, Frank Z.
Frank Z.
That is his, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
No space Reno. So yeah, they played really well yesterday, as well as obviously as we've seen them here today. If you are in Sydney, you should definitely come on down to Australian Technology Park here.
Yeah, it's a really good atmosphere actually today.
Yeah, there's plenty of seats available. Got the big screen. The teams are playing right in front of you. It's about as good a setup as you're going to see for some CS:GO action. So get involved and come and down and support these guys, because it's always more fun to play, isn't it, in front of a crowd?
Absolutely. And this is obviously the venue here, the ATP. It's a great spot, actually. We're tucked away as well, so as to not bring the house down. Integrated into a locomotive workshop as well. Really, really cool.
Yeah, which is why the Chiefs hype train's been going so
well. I can't keep up with your puns. This is intense. Look at those trophies. Let's see, though, now, as we head into the second half, who's going to be that one step closer to holding one of those lovely trophies in their hand. Plus, of course, the sweet, sweet prize monies. Pistol round, second half, into the game. Let's see if Immunity can make up those rounds.
Yeah, well, it really is up to Immunity here because the Chiefs Chiefs have a little bit of advantage. They have one round side advantage. If they can pick up a pistol round here, it's going to put them in very, very good stead. Looks like they're heading towards the A-bomb site. They would love to get a couple of free kills here. Team Immunity, we'll see they have only picked up just the one Rack 9 for them this time around on EMAG. Zuzi's taken a little bit of damage himself. Nice nade there coming out front. He always knows what's going on. If there wasn't someone standing behind him to know that he didn't have something to dodge on, I would, like, he just so he's what he expects to happen is just impressive. James finding kill onto Nova there. Offnu and Yam and APOC all picking up one A piece. 3 onto 3, pretty even here. Bomb plant going to go down, so it now is all in the hands of the Chiefs. What are they going to do there? APOC picking up one. Is he going to pull ahead for this round for him? Because it has been all down to him before. James says no, and if you can't hear that, there we go. They're getting excited. That is exactly what Team Immunity needed to do.
That's right. You can. It was actually really good timing for Sniper on the peak there. He caught Lightstep mid-reload. Lightstep making the mistake of being halfway out of the corner while he's still reloading his weapon there. Maybe a little bit of overconfidence from him. It did cost the Chiefs that pistol round, so now Immunity have a chance to put a few more on the board to start to close this game out, or at least get on the way to do so now. They need to give themselves a buffer because they know, as we said, we often save up some money for the big drought. We saw especially Streamline doing that yesterday. They were very, very cautious about doing that. Yeah, man, look at that flicker towards Offnu. I mean, it's an unarmored target and it's a Mac 10, but it's still nice reaction time there to pick the man up, and it should be a bit of a rollover here. Now, Immunity playing with confidence now because, of course, it's it's that anti-eco situation. They need to bring a little bit of initiative along with their set plays here if they want to really get onto these sites. Sometimes you just got to be instinctive as players. You've got to run the risk of stuffing up in a big way. Sometimes that's how you make plays. You don't make plays by opening the textbook and finding it in the index how to make the plays. You just have to do it.
That would be convenient though, to be fair.
Yes, unrealistic.
It would certainly play out. Look at this. We will see APOC up in apartments again. He just wants to control this. I think I said before he's paying rent, but I'm pretty sure he's actually the landlord.
He's the landlord.
Yeah, he owns that whole building, and it's definitely been showing today. Not much coming out here, Chiefs. Not choosing to do what Team Immunity did. Oh, there we go. James going to pick up first kill of the round there. Not choosing to do what Team Immunity did and go for a bit of a force half by there. There we go. Ricky picks up one. James onto one as well. James over here trying to get into the B-bomb site. He knows there is someone there. Picks up one. There's two. So very strong there with that AK-47. How many? 3, 4? 4. Too strong. Massive. See all those. Oh, there we go. Ricky picks up a Tech 9 and finishes off APOC there. Up in apartments. Easy round victory coming out for Team Immunity.
James is seriously, seriously been big today. Spoke to him yesterday. He was, a little bit neither here nor there about the performance. He was feeling okay about it, I think. But today has definitely been a really, really good performance from him. You can see far ahead of his sort of team's average at the moment. So it's a huge amount of work in that round 15. And he got the 3K and held that site perfectly. He's going to have to keep doing that. That is what Immunity expects of James. It's what I expect him to do each and every round. So let's see what happens now. Yaman's the man who's pushing up here, and we have seen James do the dirty work at B. He's that entry fragger. If they try and use him at B, if they can get him to get a pick in there, that might be where they choose to go. James is always the guy that's relied on to bust through that first line of defense. He really is a bulldozer now. Physically and in terms of the game. Now, Moku sitting back at jungle. Now he's going to come towards me. He's going to flash and just going to hold up Ricky and Yaman a little bit longer. They're going to pull back. Moku's going to go for the pick, though. Very cocky, but he does make it happen. Sniper, though, will respond. So that's the one-for-one trade here. And Offnu is just getting out of dodge here, getting right back on A. Going to give up a bit of ground to Immunity now as they seek to gain a foothold on this map. Preferably over on the A side. James a little bit frustrated yet to really make any sort of inroads at B. He's just been careful about it. Has taken a little bit of damage. It's really just his armor that's actually been compromised so far. So he's doing fine. Now he's actually going to the extent of coming up to Coil. Now, if he commits too hard to this side and goes down, that's one less player that Immunity can use if they ever decide to go towards the A. But James makes an entry frag at B. That is huge. Now that's what EMAG could do. Finds Nova. Look at the Chiefs in a second. At the flip of a coin, they just start falling like dominoes here, and Emag has picked up that kills Ofnu and Zuzi, the last two standing. Ofnu going to use that really rear position. They're giving ground, but they're not finding these aim battles. They're not watching the correct angles either, and Zuzi is the last man standing. James, well, at the cost of a lot of health, has actually managed to break that B side open. So if you're sending that one player off to B, and he's picking up kills, that's less people to rotate, obviously.
Yep.
And it also slows down the people that stay alive. Oh, no. No!
Oh, my
You're
goodness.
Such a cheeky bastard. Oh, good lord. You know, at least once every event he pulls something like that.
Oh, man. Wow.
You can't one hit him when he's side onto you, dude. So cheeky.
Stabbed him in the shoulder, paid for it.
Well, it would have been possibly worth the money, to be honest, that he would have made. It's going to give him the money he needs to buy a DAC deck. He would buy a T-side DAC deck, by the way. If anyone would do it, it would be James Quinn.
Oh, man. We've seen Team Immunity showing time and time again that they're actually quite strong here on the entry into this A-bomb site. Chiefs, when we saw them play a very good CT side yesterday, were actually very strong on the B-bomb site. So perhaps they're struggling with so many points of entry, as Yam shows that in this case, and Imagine as well. Ricky, look at this A-bomb site into apartments. Just so many points of entry coming in at all the right times, hitting the right angles, hitting the shots they need to hit. Obviously, we're looking at an eco round, but every single time they've been successful, they've come through on the A-bomb when Chiefs are far more confident, I feel, on the B-bomb site defense.
Well, I mean, and all Immunity is really just sparing James for the most part, just to poke over at B and just to shake things up. You can actually see now that we have the Immunity guys. I think it's Yaman is actually in CT here, so he's obviously made his way all the way through. Zuzi and Lightstep stacked up on each other in here for Banana. They want a gun, or they want to at least try and do some economic damage. I think that's really all they can hope for. Emag, the stack is pretty hard to deal with. He didn't even get any damage on as well. They caught him. It's a very random spot to set up on that corner. And now the flashes are coming out, and Yaman will hit Lightstep with that nade as well. Molotov got to come out behind Zuzi, giving a very draconian backdrop to yet another anti-eco win for the Immunity team.
So they're out to 12 and 8. This is actually pretty good considering how many we won in a row. That is a lot. 7 rounds in a row. So, yeah, it's not an ideal situation for the Chiefs to be in. They need to sort of regroup. Ever since we had that pause, they've been on a downhill slide since then, perhaps potentially kicking the cord out.
It's not good enough for the Chiefs. Yeah,
no, it's just something you have to deal with. And it really hurt their momentum. Lightstep going to pick up James. Actually thought he missed, but too good on that aim.
The flick, mate.
Yeah, it's that skill. Could be playing Call of Duty, to be perfectly honest. So strong.
He's so skilled, he should play COD, is what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
I like where you're going with that.
Get him on Xbox One.
All right.
4 players up for Team Immunity, having lost 1, jumping across at Banana. Imagine has made his way up into apartments here. Not sure where APOC has run off to at the moment. See, he's still around that apartments area. He knows he wants to hold A, but he's been evicted. I think someone else bought out the building for the moment. So, 4 players still up. They're waiting. 3 players down here at Banana on this B-bomb site. So let's see if what I've been saying is trash and Chiefs actually can't hold either bomb site, or whether it's just that Team Media has been so much stronger poking onto A. They will have 1, 2, 3, 4, all of their team here on the B-bomb site. Smoke's coming out. Lightstep's going to be forced back, and they're now both stacked in this same corner. This could not be ideal. Imagine gets the first one. Zuzi gets one. Oh my god, that's 3! And that's exactly what they did all day yesterday on this map. Only 1 player left. Nova, I think, perhaps from behind, stealing that kill, or maybe even saving Zuzi's life. But time and time again, they show that on those tight angles with the M4A1s, they're so very strong on this B-bomb site.
That is exactly what the doctor ordered. I mean, he's only got 20 bullets, so, you know, Immunity almost helped Zuzi out there by all just lining up nicely for him. You see, Lightstep playing quite forward with the AWP, got flashed, had to back away. He was essentially dead to rights for that point, unless he tried to go for some sort of no-scope at point-blank range. He had to really get out of there. Zuzi just did a fantastic job of holding, and that is absolutely what Immunity needed. Sorry, what the Chiefs needed, should I say. Immunity sort of banked up in Banana for a while, and they sort of gave themselves no choice but to push onto that James Quinn with the entry. There goes Lightstep. And it's not often you see the man pick up an AWP. When he does, he definitely knows how to use it. going to allow himself just to pull out a little bit here. They might still decide on a B here, but Moku is up on the boost spot. It's not a position that people checking up, but now he's giving himself away to Yaman. Does Yaman think he's at the corner? Yes, he does. Or perhaps there was a stack. There you go. Often was just below Moku. So that's a pretty strong position to have. One guy boost up on the roof and one guy watching that quad. Very, very difficult to aim battle against two guys like that when they're already watching. So good position there for Chiefs. We have a rotate through as well, so Nova is actually making his way to the B correctly. He has sniffed out some sort of shenanigans over here. And here come Immunity. James and Emag. James, he has himself an AK now, so he has dropped the AWP. He manages to get into second, or first, should I say, where they're getting picked up. But Nova's going to come out and find him, but not before James does take down Zuzi. And there is the smoky ball to Con. So Nova is actually caught. He's actually going to have to go potentially back. He's completely smoked out from both angles. So Immunity essentially get a little bit of a tea party on the bomb site for the moment at least. There's a Molotov down towards Nova. That's going to definitely unsettle him. He doesn't seem to be too perturbed, to be honest. He's going to come straight forward on towards those coils. Where's the aim? Sniper needs it, but doesn't find it. Moku and Ofnu combining well for fairly standard retake if I've ever seen it. It's a second round on the trot for the Chiefs. They definitely needed it. Immunity, having a look at their money, I think they will probably still be able to buy. Again, they may go for a bit of a safety eco. Yeah, they can share guns around, they'll be fine.
Sharing the love, there's some of them, I think, had 8K monies ready to go, so that's exactly what you want. Going to allow them to, but looks a bit, no, only going to go for a, there we go, we're looking good now, we're looking good. So twice in a row we have seen Team Immunity try and push that B-bomb site, and twice in a row we have seen the Chiefs show them that perhaps you need to keep going to A, because we've got B-bomb site locked down again and again. Zuzi picks up one. James takes out Zuzi in return, but Lightstep's having none of it. James going to get picked up from a pistol. 2 players left, going for 3 B bomb pushes in a row, and it has not worked for them on any of these occasions. I'm not sure why they keep doing this, because it seems to me that Chiefs seems to have this one locked down. Ofnu going to take out Sniper. Ricky, the last player left, he's in a 3v1. I think he's in a little bit of strife here, 50 HP. Pop Flash going to go, he's going to poke around, takes out one in the form of Lightstep. Nice little headshot going there. He's got one behind, one in front. He's in a bit of trouble. Nova says goodbye, and Team Immunity has been throwing away rounds left and right on this B-bomb site.
That was really, really wasteful play from Immunity. Really wasteful. They had to share out guns. They were pretty low on money. They knew that next round would be an eco, so what do? Well, I know they're mixing it up. It's fine. But they go for, this sort of really, really aggressive banana push where they were picking themselves fights that were, fundamentally disadvantageous. You're trying to poke these corners. Like, if you got to play by the numbers in this game, especially. You got to think of the possibility that your opponent has a better position than you. Oh, look at this, Ofnu and Nova, Moku with one as well. You see, this is a very, very quick Immunity eco. You see, they're not being. I feel like that last round was a bit of a waste. It really, really was a waste. They could have done so much more across the map, but they decided just to bottle themselves into Nana and just try and pick these fights and just run. I understand if you're playing a rush strat or a push, you need to just keep going and not worry about little things. Don't just stop moving and sort of lose your nerve. You've got to stay with the rest of the team, but definitely didn't work out. Emag gets himself an M4 now. He's going to be looking for Moku, but Moku gets a little bit of spray over in his direction before he drops into the pit. Moku very, very efficient there. Shaves another 10 health off Emag. Emag might try and bleed this one down. Ofnu coming in from the top as well. Emag, be aware of this now, and Ofnu will just be able to jump down like Batman and clean him up. It's a 12-12 scoreline. Immunity squandering their opportunity earlier on to extend the lead even further, and now has to make a little bit more money in this round. I think they can buy up here. The timing is fairly good for them. This is a good round to be able to buy on, but they absolutely. It's a must-win for either team, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. If Immunity does lose this round, it's putting them in a pretty poor position, to be perfectly honest. Hopefully for them, it looks to me like they're sitting around this B-bomb site. They really want to make something of it. It just makes no sense to me. Obviously, I don't have the understanding of Counter-Strike that these guys do, but if they've been so successful again and again finding those angles on the A-bomb, here we go. They have decided to move around. Sniper picks up APOC there. They have lost, imagine, one down on either side. They have now moved back to A-bomb, but they have been so successful so far on this map as the T side. They might be able to get a few picks. Still one player from Chiefs over on the B-bomb, so only 3 to hold this site. If they do decide to push, they are certainly biding their time. 1 minute left on the rocket clock.
Oh, God.
Man, I love my play school. Going to push into A-bomb here. Going to poke the corner. Misses the shot, though. Ricky going to pay for that one. Ofnu taking down Yam. Does take out Ofnu, but you don't want to be throwing away that AWP. Nova up at the top of balcony. Picks up 2. And only James is left. Team Immunity going to start struggling here with their economy. They have lost 5 straight. They will be getting that losers cash, I suppose, to play with, but the Chiefs looking very good here, Uber.
Yeah, you know, it's less that this is disappointing for Immunity, although it probably is for them, but more that this is very impressive for the Chiefs. They are just, Immunity are trying to throw them a few different curveballs here and try to take them by surprise, but the Chiefs are being very, very disciplined. And as I said, in order to grind those rounds out and to make sure that you can play the tit for tat without getting too far behind, you need discipline in spades. It's impressive for a younger lineup that they have this now. Lightstep, it's a point blank nade, but Zuzi's going to find Sniper as well. Immunity just essentially going to try and make a fairly quick round of this one. They're going to find themselves very, very close to going down 0-1 in this series. This is their map pick, and it's definitely not one that they've capitalised on, or doesn't seem to be the case. I have to wait and see if they can make it up. They have 3 players left. It's a full-strength, fully armed lineup of the Chiefs, and they are scary. There's no doubt about it. Off these shots down towards mid onto Ricky. Emag gets a cheeky kill in response. It's just the one gun being taken off the Chiefs, and they'll be more than happy with that. Essentially, quite the clean anti-eco.
Yeah, very much so. Again, going for that B bomb rush and getting taken down in the process. Full buys coming out from both teams here. Chiefs only 2 round wins away from picking up this first map, which we just said was not even their map choice. So if they can come away with that, that will put them in a great position heading into map number 2 in this best of 3, which I believe will be Mirage, a map that we have seen them pick time and time again. Funnily enough, seeing them lose it yesterday up against Streamline. There we go. Lightstep going to take out James with Moku also going down in the interim. Only 3 players left here. Team Immunity as they do push towards the A-bomb. So he should be able to see one. He does. Often going to go down. Imagine getting picked up. Nova going to take out him. So Zuzi going to get forced back here. Smoke going down. Yam and Ricky going to push through. The last 2 players alive on their team. They really need to win this round. Oh, Zuzi actually and Ricky going to come together helping out to pick up Yam. Thanks. I'm sure Yam would certainly appreciate that team fire. And 15-12 Chiefs match point.
Not a good situation at all for Team Immunity. They've got to play for overtime now. It's not an option to drop this map at all. It really isn't. When they're picking this one and they're supposed to be quite consistent on it, it's almost as if every time I watch Team Immunity on this map, something tends to go wrong. James, we spoke to him before the game. He wasn't loving his setup. There was a crease on the table he didn't like, and it was in the way of his mouse pad, yada, yada, yada. But he's still fragging big. Ricky with a double now. Immunity, they can't make excuses right now. They're just going to get the job done. Susie, though, is holding Banana like a beast. He's going to back away as the flames will mask his retreat. That's a double kill for him now. Ricky picked up 2 on the Nana, so it is going to make the 3v3 situation. A lot of smoke down in towards mid. Emag is going to be the front man for that one. The shot is missed by Lightstep. That's uncharacteristic for him. And he's going to be forced to back away towards Yarcha. So that's now going to give Emag a bit of a foothold as he tries to work here on towards A. I think Lightstep, yes, he is going to smoke out and again back away. Ground being given, but Lightstep's still trying to make sure he has a stronghold to be operating out of it. Immunity, they got some different ideas about where they would like to take this bomb. It's only Zuzi at the moment at that B side, and Emag is just trying to keep those Chiefs players, both of them, at the A side, but Nova so easily takes a hit off of Emag, and this is situations they can't afford to let happen to them. Time and time again, they're dying so cheaply. Emag was only there essentially as a decoy, maybe get an entry pick if he could possibly get it. He wasn't supposed to die for that. He was supposed to be available for this sort of rotation, but now Chiefs only just cottoning on that something's happening at B, so it is still Zuzi for the moment, but he's keeping his head down, he's keeping quiet. He's down to 3 health though. Can he hold from the back at the side? This is really important. Can he stall out long enough? Sniper picks him up. There is a smoke at CT, so there should be enough time for at least a bomb plant here, but Lightstep has other ideas. He's going to be coming out through con. There is Sniper up on coils. He's going to be looking for the head to poke around at him. Sniper finds Nova. That's going to be Lightstep on his own. He's going to win this one. Oh, the shot onto Sniper's head was good, but Yaman will respond. Immunity still in this one. There's still life in them yet, and they've got 2 more rounds to make it the draw.
Finally picking up a B-bomb plant that they actually win. I was about to say, count the number of rounds they won on that B-bomb site with my elbow, but I guess it's still true, to be fair.
Yeah.
I guess it's still true. 13-15, Team Immunity need to win these next 2 rounds to bring us into overtime. Chiefs still with a full buy. Same for Team Immunity. Plenty of time here for the Chiefs to come through and pick up this map. Number 1, M4A1s all around here for the Chiefs Esports Club. Team Immunity holding back as usual, just trying to find themselves a free kill, find themselves a way into one of these 2 bomb sites. I think they're going to be a little bit nervous now. They certainly would not like to have thought they would come away with a loss on their preferred map here of Inferno. It's not a great way to start the morning, to be perfectly honest. 2 players here from the Chiefs on the B-bomb site. We will see Team Unity has made their way up into A. James going to get forced back. He's going to go down. Zuzi picking him up. Ricky still deciding to hang around. He does have this AWP. He's trying to find himself a pick. I'm not sure if it's a great idea. We will see Imagine going down to Nova as well over on the A-bomb site. Yam trying to force his way through. Ricky going to get forced back again. Just winding down the clock here. Only 30 seconds left. 3 players up against 5. Team Immunity have a huge amount of work to do if they want to keep this map alive. Apox says goodbye to Yam. 2 players left, Ricky and Sniper. What are these guys going to do? They have made it onto the B-bomb site. We do have Zuzi with his M4A1, his favourite weapon, I suspect. Lightstep says goodbye to Ricky. Sniper going to take out Apox. 1 player left. This is up to Sniper. Can he keep this map alive? No, he cannot. Chiefs Esports Club 16-13 going to pick up the very first map of the day, being Inferno.
Yeah, I mean, Immunity did win the pistol in that second half. We're thinking, okay, they might be able to make it up here, and they did. They won those first few rounds, actually. We have a look. Immunity had, the first 5 rounds of the half were theirs. After that, though, they just completely fell off, and they didn't even manage to plant the bomb most of the time as well. So there were, I think, 7 rounds in a row that the Chiefs won. One of them was by a defused win.
Yeah.
So Immunity was struggling to even sort of get control of a bomb site. They were breaking like waves upon rock. This is something they can't afford to do. You can hear the chatter coming out from there. The banter is strong. These guys are, definitely getting hyped up for the game. Immunity dropped that one, and I honestly think it's because they didn't give themselves enough of a buffer in the first half as well. You cannot realistically, at the top level, expect to consistently gain rounds on T-side Inferno against a team who you believe, reasonably to be strong.
Yeah, exactly.
You should never expect that. So at halftime, they should have been kicking themselves, saying, "Well, this is not good enough. Now, how do we rectify that?" And honestly, to get to 13 rounds is good. I think everyone expects more from Immunity now, but it is a best of 3. That is the difference here. It's we're moving away from our best of 2 format of yesterday. Best of 3 it's going to be. So we're going to be back with our map number 2. It's going to be Mirage right after the break, ladies and gentlemen. Won't be too long. 10 minutes. We'll be back. See you shortly.